Right, well, I'll declare the meeting open and give my official welcome to some of us, our second last meeting. Bit funny feeling, isn't it? Could I ask somebody leave the recommendation, the confirmation of the minutes of the previous meetings, please? You got them? Yeah, well, who have you got? Councillor Galvin and Councillor Matthews. Moved and seconded. There's no questions. I'll put the motion. Both say aye. Aye. Against no one. Okay. Now, I think this is going to be like a breath of fresh air, very pleasant. But we have a presentation now, and I'm going to introduce you to Azal and Santika. They're from a company called Management of Little Kindy Proprietary Limited. Yeah. So let's hear from you. Whoever you're going first, Azal? Yeah, over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Sit down. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for having us. My name is Azal, and this is Santika. We are both from Little Kindy Early Learning Center. First of all, I would like to thank you for giving us an opportunity to introduce our Little Kindy Early Learning, and then what sort of services that we normally provide to, I will say, like regional areas that we think and we believe that our services really highly needed by the community. So just a little bit of introduction to our Little Kindy. So Little Kindy is an approved provider for early learning and care under the national regulation and law for childcare services. And then we are very much based in New South Wales, but if we can go to the next one, please. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so this is our national provider number. So we are a privately owned company, and we started in 2016, and with our first center in Muswellbrook, New South Wales. It's one of the regional areas as well. And then one of our strong points is we very much focus on developing regional areas, and we believe that by focusing on giving the services to regional, we help communities. And then most of our centers are located in regional areas as well. If we go to the next one, this is very much our portfolios, our centers across New South Wales. We've got the first center in Muswellbrook, and we've got in Broadmeadow, we've got in Tamworth. Tamworth, we've got 3 at the moment. So we've got in Tamworth Central, West, and East Tamworth. And we've got regional Cara, one in Walker, quite recently opened. With a history of Walker, a group of moms actually contacted us and then asked if it's possible to provide services in their community because they don't have childcare center at all in the Walker community. So that's why they try to approach us and then see what we can do so we can have that service to the community. And then we are so grateful. We've got that support from the council, from the community, from a group of moms and community. So we finally have that Walker Center open just like a few months ago. So we are so grateful to have that opportunity to service that community. And then we also have like a center in Singleton. And then quite recently we opened one in Eglinton, quite regional as well, in Bathurst regional area. And we are opening soon in Juni, very close to Wagga Wagga. They also have a very high demand on childcare services. So, and then very soon we are also going to open one in Narrabri. We also have another services in. If you go to, we've got some in South and Western Australia and Queensland. Dover Gardens is quite regional area as well. Pemberton, and then in WA we've got Hilton, Dalyellup, Dawesville, Canning Vale, and the ones in Queensland we've got North Cairns.
Spread on.
So this is our core principle and the underlying principles. We believe that Little Kindy is committed to provide quality education programs and maintain its loving care to our children and to employees. We believe that in the long run, we actually provide not only educators, but leaders in our community. So we try to encourage our employees to go to the next level in their career. We try to encourage our staff members to develop their leadership skills by empowering their staff members. And that's what we do. That's one of our core principles, to see they grow their leadership skills so we can have like more women participation in the workforce industry. And community, of course, and investors, including like whoever working together with us to develop the infrastructure and facilities. This is a little bit of the management. So like I mentioned, we are very much like private and family-owned companies, and it's owned by us, husband and wife. We live in Tamworth. And this is me, and the second one is Santika. So both of us are company directors for Little Kindy. We've got 3 children. And then this is the guidelines for us to provide the service. We are very much like guided by the Australian National Quality Standards. Why regional? Like I mentioned before in the beginning, number one, we're providing easy access and quality service on childcare services to the local community. And we love New England areas, Northwest, because we see that so many potential, and also we understand that service is really highly needed. Working together with the local communities, we normally, when we design like educational programs, we encourage to do that partnership and collaboration with the communities, including council. Maybe, for example, Santika can give some examples of how we can organize that.
Yeah, so under the EYLF, like early years learning framework, there are quality area number 6 that we have students partnership with engagement with community. So in most of our centers, we work with the city councils. Like say in Tamworth, we work together with the water and sustainability officers in the councils, so that the councils come and then give like session with the children explaining about like sustainability, and then the council also encourage all the children, like because they give us like the bin, like the small little bins, and encourage the children to do that. And we do the gardening project together with the councils as well, and also with like community, we work with Pupa. So we collaborate with them, the Pupa, like coming to the centers and then do activities together, and they organize the roster, like who can come, like obviously with the children check and everything, and then come and then collaborate like the elder generation with the younger generation. And we have that one weekly collaborations, and also many more like with the community engagement, like depend on each center, and then depends on the area. So the directors will engage with the community. Say in Cowra, it's a small town, they engage with like the school as well, because we're next door to the school. So year 6 children come to the preschool and then do like reading, and then the cafe next door as well, we do excursions, collaborations, because all of the community usually goes to the cafe, and then like introducing the children to like community, and community to bring the community to the center. And for one of the centers in Tamworth, in West Tamworth, because we work together with Aboriginal community as well, because there is Aboriginal study in one of the high school. So we invite the children's like in that high school that taking the Aboriginal study units to come to our centers and come to our centers and do like reading and teaching the languages and do the dancing, like teaching the dancing to the children as well. So yeah, that's just the example of the engagement with community. Depends on the area where the centers are. So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Santika. And the next one will be employment. We also experience one of the challenging situation where we have a shortage of staff members and employment. We empower local people. We try to recruit qualified educators. If they don't have that qualification, we can use the traineeship support where you don't have to be qualified to enter that workforce, but we can help you with that traineeship programs where they can study and then they can work in the same time under the supervision of our center directors and the qualified staff members. And most of our centers we engage like local people to be the leaders in the particular center, and then we try to encourage like young people to be in our organization. I think that's a little bit of our organization, and we are open to partnership with communities, including council. And we will be very happy to hear from you if there is any questions or any feedback. Thank you.
I'll offer the floor to Susie Weber, who's our director in that area.
Oh, hi. Nice to meet you.
One thing you mentioned, your association with Bupa. Bupa's that's the health. Yeah. What's the association, or why is the association there? Is the tie-up with the?
It's because of the centers close to Bupa Aged Care Center.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not mainly the Bupa, but
Yeah.
to the aged care, to the aged care, local aged care,
Yeah, right.
that we engage with them just to help, like to put to bridge the community,
Yeah,
the communication between like aged care and child care, win-win solution for the children's love to have visitations from the aged care, and then the aged care love to have like activities with the children, and it's make them happy. We got like. And we usually use Facebook to communicate with community. So like every time we have an event, but based on like what event that we have, we make the videos and then we share to the community as well, so that they know our programs and that they know. Like even the next program, what we have, we usually share it so that the community know. Oh, so today we're working with language hub from the Aboriginal units, or today we are working with the aged care as well to share.
Yeah. So a group of people from aged care, they come to the center and then they work together with the children, like doing some arts and crafts. They loved it. They loved it. We can see that.
So I've just got a couple of quick ones for you. What if you were going to start here, what would you require from us, and what's your minimum number of children to operate successfully?
And what ages do you
Yes.
get? What ages was the question?
Thank you so much for the question. I should have mentioned that before. We take care of 0 to 5 years old.
Oh, that's good.
From the babies, from the babies to ready for big schools.
How's 0?
Some people they have already said 6 weeks. Yeah. Yeah, and especially like when we open our World Class Center, some of the doctors they struggle to find a care.
Yeah.
And they said we can't provide our medical services if you don't open it very soon.
We have the same problem in our community, not necessarily with doctors, but we.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's correct.
So I was just wondering how many kids you would need for it to work.
Yeah, to decide the numbers, it really depends on the population in that particular place. Normally, we start with 30 children to 80 to 100 children.
It might be hard.
But I think it's for community like with less population, less than 3,000. I think starting with 30 children or 40 children should be.
Have you got that many in Walker?
Numbers.
Would you get 30 kids at Walker?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah,
You do?
we've got, yes.
So we have two ends of our shire, which you would be aware of. We have Bingra and we have Warialda,
Yep.
and they've both been desperate for years for childcare and we've got Justin, for instance, I'm going to take you. His wife's got two little ones, and like there's no childcare, so she's not back at work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So we would need it in both ends
Yeah.
of the shire, and it's sort of quite desperate.
Yeah.
How would we go with that? Like,
We are happy to have two facilities in separate place.
Yep.
We are happy to do that. But again, the way how we work with the community, whether it's investor or council or like the ones we've got in Muswellbrook, we use former library from the council, and then we rent it from council. So the way how we work is really depends the way how we structure. Some maybe we use existing maybe preschool or existing buildings of council, for example, and then we convert that to be a childcare. Of course, there will be a process that we need to follow, maybe DA, and then after the DA, we convert that place, and then we go to Department of Education.
And there's a lot of requirements, isn't there, with like toilets for children, small toilets and big.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. So, yeah, in terms of the Warialda, I'm not. We would love to hear about what the situation or what can we do together.
So if in Warialda, we have a preschool existing, and the primary school has just been granted the ability to start another preschool.
Okay. Yeah.
I think in 2025 they'll build that a new build, and they will provide preschool. So for you guys to be sustainable, I'm assuming you would need to include a preschool program in your long daycare, which would then mean there were 3 preschools in Warialda.
Yeah.
We also have a preschool in Bingra. We also have a mobile preschool that does a day in Warialda. So there will possibly be 3 preschools in Warialda, then a 4th.
Yes.
So preschool's kind of covered, and it's long daycare that is a real issue. It's 0 to 2-year-olds and before and after school care.
Okay.
How would you go being able to just do that? I don't know that there would be 30 children in that age group. In fact, I don't know that there are 30 children in
any of the age.
Yeah.
The 0 to 5 age group for each town would have a maximum of 20 a day at this point, but most of the facilities aren't actually reaching that maximum.
Yeah.
So how would you go about, I guess, making that work?
Yeah. What we understand about the preschools, I believe New South Wales now has like 15 hours free preschool education. So I believe I think because preschool only receive 3 to 5 years old.
Yes.
And then they only have 2 days.
Yeah.
2 days from school hours from 9 to 3, which we believe that there's still demand in there for those who need say 5 days. And then long day as well.
Right.
So we believe that our service is not only 0 to 2, but also we can help the existing preschools at the moment, which only can carry 2 days, and then from 9 to 3 years old. So we provide that service as well. So that's why we believe that we can help the existing preschools to serve for those who are not covered with that hours.
You go 5 days a week.
5 days a week, Monday to Friday, yes. And then we start long days from 6:30 to 6.
I think our stumbling block is going to be the numbers. I'm with Sergio. There's no way we'd have 30 children.
We usually do the market research first, in Volca, they invite us to come, and then we just where is Volca? It's because we are from Newcastle, and then Volca is just if you go straight, go to Armidale and Wolga, you have to go right, and it's
It's a small one.
Yeah, and then we went there, and it seems very little, and then when we got that place, it's quite big, and we're not confident as well to get the children's, but now like the Wolga, we got like nearly fully occupancy for the center that we said to the developer, like, it's too big, we can't afford that, it's very big. But the developer like, oh, it's all right, you can just like, just do it. Who knows the growth of populations, or if there is any facilities, people will, might come more, because Wolga is near with neighboring town, and then it's very difficult to get rental like in Tamworth or in Armidale, and some coming, and then we see new families coming, like when we visit like with the director said, oh yeah, we got like new families coming from say Armidale, moved to Wolga, moved back to Wolga, and this kind of thing. But before we decide to open a center, we will do like a market research first, like how many population, how many children's under.
So what do you charge? How much does it cost to put a kid in per day or a week?
Before childcare subsidy, it's $139 per day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but normally like parents would end up paying like $20 per day.
Per day.
That's childcare subsidy. And for less fortunate families, they would normally cover 100%.
All right.
So they don't have to pay anything.
Oh, that's good.
Because it's very much like subsidized by the government. It really depends on the backgrounds of the families, and that will determine how much they will get from the childcare subsidy. But that's the industry standard, from ranging from 120 to 139, 149.
Yeah.
It really depends on the
I
area.
understand that. And where to from here? What's the next step?
Number one, if different scenario, if for example there is maybe council or developer or one individual comes to us, they said we've got building or we've got a vacant plan, and then we are ready to build the buildings according to your requirements, and then we will talk. Normally it takes about like DA process, construction. It might be taking longer compared to, for example, we've got an existing building, and then we just need to convert that, say like, for example, like community hall or a former library. It might take a little bit earlier than like 1 or 18 months. So, with this context, we would love to hear from maybe council or from community, what sort of things that you have already existing. Maybe you've got an existing facilities, or we are open to that.
Okay.
Conversation.
So given that in Bingra we already have a preschool there, if council were to say we would like you to come and manage that as a long daycare facility, not just preschool, that's something that you would then be able to look at and go, okay, well, here's the specs, here's the layout, this is how many children, which we've already got all that information. You would then possibly be able to come in and go, okay, we're no longer going to be doing 8:30 to 3:30. We'll be doing 6:30 to 6, and it will be for 0 to 5 years of age.
Yes, I think that's a
preschool program.
Yeah, I think that's a great example of how we can start it very quickly. Because we believe that if we have already got an existing preschool, meaning that it's already complies with the requirements to be a childcare or preschools. And that should be something that we can start immediately the conversation, and then we can cover the existing parents and children, and then in the same time you open to that 0 to 2 that hasn't been covered by.
I'm just thinking that would probably be the only way.
I was thinking that too, but I was waiting to.
Susie, you could put that to the Warialda community.
I was going to say Warialda possibly.
But I think capacity would be the problem, wouldn't it?
You've
got land there.
Possibly, but not necessarily.
I'm not sure.
Put it up from 0 to 5. Then, there's a possibility. We have 13 2-year-olds at St. Joseph's at Tharawonga on that one day on a Friday. And
No, I meant the capacity of the building rather than.
oh, no, that'd be fine.
Would it?
Yeah. Well, Bingra particularly, we've got a new room there, so that would
I think that'd be the answer to the.
actually work.
I think Bingra, that I was going to say that to you, that was my thought. Like if you were to take over the Bingra preschool and offer that extra service, it would start that virtually immediately and fix the problem for all of us.
The issue would be that that staff don't want to do long day care. They're very preschool focused.
Yeah.
So that 0 to 2-year-old age group, as you know, is very, very different to preschool.
Yeah.
And it would be, I guess, about finding staff on top of what's already there that would want to actually do babies.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it would offer more employment.
Yes. Yeah, but you've
got to get the staff. Oh, I know that. I know it's trying to get people to work these days. I totally understand that problem.
And I
So
think
you're not going to get people to work those hours. It would be 2 shifts, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You would need another, staff.
Yeah, exactly. So we can retain the existing staff members, and then at the same time we can recruit more staff members to cover that. See if that maybe the existing staff members cannot really work on that hours.
Yeah.
So that's we normally do that when we take over the service. Yes.
And that is the other issue. We'll be finding people that want to work at 6:30
Yeah.
until 6.
Yes, that's
So that
correct.
they have their
Well, that's something you've dealt with your other centres.
Yeah.
That finding the staff would have been something that you dealt with previously. I think your timing's perfect because from what I understand, speaking to a person that works at the Warialda preschool, they're in crisis mode, particularly with the introduction in 2025 of a preschool working out of the school. They need to reinvent themselves anyway. They're run by a management committee, a community management committee, and I'm sure that they would be open to discussions.
Yeah.
The staff are just quite unsure about their future.
I think if you offered that sort of service, they'd stay there. They wouldn't go to the school.
No,
They'd stay there for the whole 5 years or however long.
particularly if they're younger siblings.
The only thing is, John, is that the one at school will be free.
Yeah, okay. That
would be
It's only,
our community.
yeah,
will make a big
it's still
difference.
fairly limited service though. 3 to 5.
Yeah, it's 3 to 5.
Yeah,
And that's the majority.
that doesn't allow someone to work though.
That's
Well, they would still then be able to use the, before and after school component of the long day care facility. So there would still be that, but that would be the only, sticking point. And then you've got to figure it out.
Lyndon, did you have a question?
Yeah, so I was just going back to what you said, John. So the council obviously needs to support you. So buildings is one. How are like your relationships with these other towns? What else has the council been doing to support your business?
The council normally, if it's providing the property, meaning that the council will be our landlord.
Yeah.
So we have the responsibility to be as a tenant to the council. So with other centers, it normally comes from like individual investor who has that building, or maybe our existing developer who is interested in finding another areas that they think it's good to invest, for example, or because that community needs. So they come to us and then say, okay, Azal, I've got another site, regional areas as well, and they need that service, and we are willing to invest in that area. That's one of the models that we developed.
So it's mainly real estate, what you're saying.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, plus support for community providing.
Exactly. Yeah.
These guys would be the approved provider.
Yes.
Would actually take the onus then off council as the approved provider. And they would be responsible
for the
For the management. Yes.
That's a great idea.
Get them to talk to them.
It's what we've been wanting for a lot of years.
Sweet day.
Not a lot of years.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So the way how it works, that's for your reference. If, for example, we take an existing maybe preschool or something else, once we get that, we would normally go to the Department of Education. We notify them. We apply for the service. and it takes about maybe 60 to 90 days for them to approve. So once we approve, then we open straight away. So compared to another model development, we need to wait until maybe 18 months during, due to the complexity of.
Well, I think this has got great potential in our preschools. We'll have to speak to the Warrior Community Preschool and see what they think. But I'm completely unqualified. I'd be surprised if they don't jump at it.
Yeah.
And Susie can speak about the Binga one. But it sounds like one way we can get it into our communities, because I don't think you could exist on your own. You need the preschool kids that are already there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the good things now, I think New South Wales government, they've got, besides the childcare subsidy, they also have Start Strong grants programs for the families. So it could be they'll end up like paying $5 or something per day with the long daycare service.
Right.
So you would use both buckets of funding?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, for year 3 and then year 4 children.
Yep.
3 years
Year
old.
3 and year 4.
3
Yeah.
years old to 4 years old.
Yeah, from 3 years old. Yeah, that's correct.
Here before they start school.
Yeah.
Yeah, before like the kindergarten.
The 3-year-olds get funding as well.
Yeah.
So it's 3 and 4-year-olds. It's not as much,
Yes.
but they get funding as well. So I mean, from your perspective, it would actually be quite profitable.
Yeah.
Many of the parents or the kids do 5 days a week, or would there be more, say 2 or 3 days a week from each child? Or
Depends on the parent situations. Like, so each parent's granted childcare subsidies. So it depends on if they're working time, so they can apply for 100 hours per fortnight for childcare subsidies. So they usually send like 4 to 5 days. But for parents that not working full time, so they depends on how many hours they granted from the centrally. So
I just think about Binga and Warrior really. Where 3 days one place and 2 days the other, or it'd be good to put one halfway between the two places. But that's going to be a little bit of the problem, Susie, isn't it? Just getting the numbers, but they might be there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is the preschool at Bingra, is it full hours at the moment? Capacity?
No, it's not.
Isn't it?
Got 15 on one day, 18 on another day. It's there. This year's actually less than we've had in a long time.
But if you add the 0 to 3s into there,
Yeah, that's
you
right.
get the numbers probably.
Yeah,
You may do, I don't know.
that comes from stats from the hospital. They send me the number of children born each year, and from our birth certificate.
Yeah.
It tells us how many people are coming through.
On the breeding program.
These people need to get cracking and have a few kids, I reckon.
And you
That's right, in retirement.
too.
Yes. Yeah. We
I wake up at 4 o'clock.
no holiday except the holidays. Yeah.
and Christmas.
Like Christmas and New Year. Yeah.
All right, is there any other questions? This has been pretty good. Maybe we can go somewhere with it.
Can the council help in getting expressions of interest in this?
For kids, you mean?
Yeah,
Well, we can advertise it a bit if we could.
yeah. I mean, it seems that's the key thing is if there's enough people
Yeah.
aware of the service that's available. A lot of people don't bother to look for the service because the service is just not there.
But you said you do your due diligence on that as well. You'll be out doing research on that.
Yeah. Normally we're helped by maybe council or community as well because they are the one who knows exactly what's happening in that area.
We would
So that they could be our main reference to know whether there is a needs in that particular area.
So really the next step would be to build a relationship with both preschools, Little Kindy and the preschool directors through Susie.
Yes.
Or however that will work, to build a relationship. So then that would be the forum to do your market research.
I think firstly you need to do your stats on like how sustainable it would be for you.
Yeah.
And then once you've done that feasibility, then come back and we can then actually talk to Warialda Preschool rather than.
Can you do that without local input though? Like, do you just look at statistical?
Yeah, we normally do like from statistics as well.
Okay.
Yeah, we can see how many 0 to 5 years old. So we can find the ratio. But again, we are happy, and then we are flexible in terms of the arrangement. If we see that that's something that area needs, then we can work it out and make it happen. In terms of the numbers, again, we are very much like flexible how we can maybe 30, less than 30, that should be fine to us as far as that service is really needed.
Yeah, well, long day care is what we're calling out for, and I'm not sure how far people would travel to deposit, if that's the right word, their child.
I think what Chris said is putting it out there, because there could be people out, I'm taking Bingra for instance, there could be people working out at Kira that we really have no idea how many children they have out that way, you know what I mean, that aren't going anywhere that might like to put them in. So if we did a sort of a survey, would you use this service and how many days would you use it?
Yeah.
That's giving you more of an idea than just get statistics too. But if you send a thing, if you're really interested in this, you've wanted this for a long time.
Yeah.
How many kids would you send?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
And also
it's really important. That's the most important thing, is looking at the statistics. You can do as many days as you like. When we went to St. Joey's at Warialda, we had 21 families that are definitely going to book in for a Friday. We started with 11.
Yeah.
So, a survey isn't a great thing to do, and sometimes it's a waste of time. And there've been, I don't know how many surveys done already. What they need to do is look at the statistics, see how many children have been born, and then once you can say, let's go, people will come. If they want care, they'll come.
Yeah.
You don't really know. There'll be, I would imagine that the mothers out there would take a job if they could get one, if they could get daycare.
Yeah, exactly. And
there might be more there than.
Yeah.
That's right. You've got to actually look at how many children there are to start with.
Yeah.
That will give you an
That's great.
indication of
Chris,
I just wonder whether the councillors feel comfortable about making an endorsement for this service. I think if you go cold to the service, it's a little bit different than if we say we've heard the proposition and we endorse it in principle.
Well, I would hope that we do that, and I would also think that I know the Warialda Chamber of Commerce will support you. They've been trying to get something like this for a while, and I think that I can speak on behalf of council. Can I? That we endorse this project? Yes, that's any doubt.
It would be wonderful. It would be wonderful. Yes. Yeah.
I mean, if you go to the preschool saying that you've got an endorsement from the council, it sort of gives you some credibility. If you just go, people say money making bastards, go away, sort of thing.
Yeah, that's absolutely.
Yeah, that's fair point.
Just the other thing there, that we're talking about numbers from the children born at the hospital.
Yeah.
It'd probably be more beneficial going to a doctor, wouldn't it? Get the age groups, because a lot of kids not born here, they're born in Moringa.
That's where we get the stats from, Kelly.
You wouldn't get it from here.
No, you wouldn't get it from here. That's right.
It's from the health nurse who does all the post-natal checks on every child in the shop.
Look, I'd just like to thank you very much, both of you, for coming and speaking to us. This is like a breath to me, I think. I'm hoping it can go somewhere. And I'd invite you to stay. We'll break for morning tea and stay, and you can talk individually that way. Okay, I'll call the meeting back, the recording back on. I call now for declarations of interest, gifts received, and conflicts of interest.
Can I actually, I've put down all councillors recorded a less than significant interest in which covers donations and all memberships to committees and clubs.
Thank you. Yeah. There's no additional.
There is
later item, sorry, there's three.
There are four actually.
Four, yeah.
Item 7.9, public gates and bridge policies. 7.10, grazing stock on roads policy. 7.11, dust seal policy, and also the additional confidential item 7.4, which was the tender for the Cropper Creek Road pavement upgrade.
Thank you very much, Councillor Putnam. Second, Councillor Egan. The motion, those in favour say aye. Aye. Okay, thank you. Officers' reports. 7.1, technical services. Over to you, Alex.
Okay. Been a pretty good wrap to end the financial year. We're on track to come within about $10,000 to $15,000 of our $20+ million budget, which we'll call it good financial planning and good engineering. Thanks, CFO. The CBD Park in Warialda, I hope everybody's had a sticky beak in as they're driving past. We've got a bitumen seal booked for that for Tuesday of next week. Once that's done, that's the infrastructure for that development in place.
I drove past on Tuesday when I saw it, and then I went back actually and had another look. It's going to be great.
It's going to be fantastic.
It looks really, it looks really good.
It's quite, they've done a very professional job. The next step is that we have to go to public consultation for the green space itself, which we're committed to doing before starting the work on the car park. We think we're going to do that by way of a promotional video with some drone footage of the car park that's being constructed, overlay some of the concepts that we have already in place from John Mongard's work, put that in our Facebook and use Facebook as the means of engaging with the community.
The new pizza oven.
I think the new pizza oven. We've done a considerable amount of consultation with the project already. I think it was 2 weeks that John Mongard was set up listening to everybody who wanted to have some input. And I think that should probably be enough, but we've made a commitment that we will do further consultation, but that consultation will be based on Mongard's work to date and the construction that we've done for the car park.
And as recently as last week, a few of us met with the Historical Society in Warialda, who've been very concerned about the removal of one building in particular, and they have said that they're willing to work with council to put a historical element into the aesthetics of the park area, but also potential use for the old Bradford building.
Yeah. And can you keep in the back of your mind my request for a tree of knowledge with a seed of knowledge under it?
Okay. Some pavers of knowledge underneath.
That might be good.
Yeah.
There's some fairy lights.
That was the building, Leah, we were talking about putting toilets in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just a comment on the toilets. Justin has conducted a service level review for Parks and Gardens, which included public toilets. And one of the recommendations is, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Justin, that we actually look into the number of public toilets that we service and with a view of eliminating some of them. I know it's very much the view in the community that we don't have enough public toilets, and whenever we close any of them, especially in Warialda, people feel like their throat's being cut. But an independent service level review has come to the conclusion that we have too many.
I think it's more the point where they're situated. Yeah. There's none down this end of town now.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Moving.
Well, just with that pizza oven, I got howled down by one person at the public meeting about that.
Oh, we're moving forward on it.
I did some research. A gas-fired pizza oven is almost instant heat.
Yeah, that's true.
So it doesn't take hours to warm up like was claimed. No. Okay.
The Cropper Road stabilisation was a little bit of a success story. That started with a trial that was 3.5 kilometres long, doing a polymer stabilisation, and it was completely intended to be a trial. It ended up being a very successful trial, and we've done that entire road, 12.3 k's, for about 90,000 a kilometre for rehabilitation. That's well, in comparison to the previous item on the agenda here, the Warialda Road stabilisation works, that was $600,000 for 2 kilometres. we've done 12.3 kilometres for $850,000 on the Croppermore Road. They won't last as long. It's a chalk and cheese kind of thing, but it's really good to find these kind of interim, well, not interim, but intermediate measures that we can take and make the dollar stretch a little bit further.
What did you do with that culvert? The launch site.
The launch site is currently still intact.
Is it?
We have a design for its replacement. It's funded and
Take
pending.
it right out.
Yeah.
Alex, just one question on that. So what's your anticipated lifespan of the road then?
That's a good question. To get value for money, it needs to be about 6 years.
Yeah.
We will get more than 6 years. My sort of gut feeling, seat of the pants, 12 to 15. We've made substantial improvement on the existing road. It's been reinstated better than it was laid, and I think that it was sealed sometime in the early 2000s. So if we can get another 24 years, we should be able to get another 24 years out of it. It should be more than that. So yeah, it's been a good one.
Yeah.
On the IB Ball Road, we have 11.5 kilometres sealed. We have a further 6 kilometres that has got subgrade stabilisation done. We're not far away from moving to the final little bit of subgrade stabilisation, which is actually the end of the job. The next 2.5 kilometres is the end of it. The earthworks has been, and the stabilisation's been the time-consuming, expensive part of that. Laying the new gravel is a walk in the park. The guys do that very quickly, very efficiently. So that's very much on track for its September completion. There was an issue with some substandard gravel that had been delivered by one of the contractors that we've engaged in a panel contract for gravel supply. We're going to remove about 3 kilometres of gravel from that site, and it'll be relocated to one of the gravel roads we're working on at the moment. So there's it will be partly our expense, partly the contractor's expense. We can't expect the contractor to relocate it for us, but we're in talks about being reimbursed for the cost of the material.
Would they not have been aware of the fact that it was not up to standard?
Probably a conversation better had in confidential session, Councillor Egan. There are some things at play. County Boundary Road, we are sealing next month to the halfway mark, and I think you're on target both dollar-wise and time-wise on that project. Really successful one.
Carl on today.
Big County Boundary Road, I imagine.
He's very excited. I met him at the door as I was coming.
Oh, so the seal's happening today. There we go.
He's called them. They had 2 mil of rain last night, and he's out there today. And he's getting done.
Yeah.
That'd be ideal.
He's very excited.
Yes, it would be. Yeah. Absolutely ideal.
Yeah.
All of the roadworks.
You're on.
Sorry?
Unless you're a blue dot.
Unless you're on the blue dot. The Ones Road project is completely sealed. All of the gravel's been laid. We have a tender that has closed for the construction of 4 new causeways on that job, which is the remaining work in the approved scope. That will likely be presented to council at the next ordinary meeting. Pricing is much more competitive than what we've seen in previous tenders. The market seems to be turning around and becoming a little bit more favourable for council.
Have you had any feedback from the road users there?
No.
That's disappointing.
It is.
I'll make the point that we probably lack too. We should write to the people that, the feds in the state that give us grants and thank them every time.
Yeah.
Because it's so nice when someone thanks you, isn't it?
It is.
We probably should be writing Jenny Aitchison for her help, I reckon.
I think on that particular road, the absence of complaints is as good as so it's close to a pat on the back.
We did have plenty of complaints.
Other than that, flood damage we suspended for a month, and that was due to some payment issues between Transport for New South Wales and Council. They've since been resolved, so we'll be back into disaster recovery work once the 2 crews that are on Yallaroy Road and Blue Knobby Road have completed the works there.
They're completely resolved?
It is completely resolved. Oh, well, to the difference now is about $40,000.
Okay, that's complete, isn't it?
That's close enough to complete when we were talking up to $3 million previously.
Yeah.
So, Alex, who will be in charge now of the flood damage? Like now, Peter Kennedy's resigned.
Yep. The draft restructure for the engineering department has a 3 overseer model. One will look after sealed roads, one will look after unsealed roads, and one will look after urban spaces. The 2 flood damage crews that we have will be falling under the unsealed roads supervisor, which is Chris Cox. But there will be in the disaster events that we've had subsequent to the first 2, there's been sealed road damage, and the flood damage crews that we have equipped now are primarily unsealed road crews. So there will be a little bit of overlap with the sealed roads supervisor doing some flood damage work, and the administration will be done internally.
Yep. The truck wash, I drove past it again on Tuesday, and there was 2 trucks waiting. It still seems like it's going really well.
Yeah, I think this was our biggest month ever. Nearly $14,000 of income gone through there. That's it's been successful well beyond our initial projections.
I did notice a stench though when I drove past on Tuesday, and I had the windows up.
Yeah, so there are a few measures that we have in place to be addressing that, and it's unfortunate that it's arrived at the situation it has, but it's because of the usage and more to the point usage of the effluent dump points, which is.
I was going to mention that you can count the truck wash, the numbers that wash, but we wouldn't know how many dump.
And one of the things about the way that the dump points are structured, and that's just to empty the onboard effluent tanks on the trucks, they dump and go straight to the holding ponds. They don't go through the filtration process that the washdown bays do. So we're currently looking at a design where we can redivert everything from the dump points through the settling ponds, get all the solids out, and it gets that primary stage of treatment that it's not getting at the moment. Second thing is...
We didn't think of that through, did we, when we designed it?
Well, I don't think it was, again, we thought that it might be 1 or 2 trucks here and the rest would be washing out, but... I
wonder, is that a problem at Roma, like when we were...
Don't know.
The winter will be the worst time. You've got stock coming off roads, they're full of water.
Yeah.
So they're more often dumping. But also some of that odour would come from the actual truck that's been washed.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And other measures, we have a solar-powered aerator in the ponds now, which will prevent them from becoming anaerobic, which was when things got really bad where we could smell the smell in Hope Street. That was due to an anaerobic condition existing in those ponds, so the aerators will address that. The third thing is we're working with a consultant to have a flocculant dosing injection into the truck wash lines, and that will bind solids and keep them from passing through, because we're still getting, the filters are only so small in the separation bunkers, but with the addition of some flocculant, it'll get small particles, make them bigger, and we'll be able to hold them at the truck wash itself and remove them off-site as we've been doing. But with those 3 things in place, I'm quite confident that the stench will disappear. I'm comforted by the fact that for the first 18 months of operation, we had no odour issues whatsoever. So the infrastructure works. We've just got to tailor the chemical balance and the function of the facility so that it copes with the increase in trucks that we've seen.
I actually live in cattle.
Sorry, Jeff.
People got to realise. That's why I talk to anyone that, you don't want to be beside you, but I know when I lived away, I couldn't wait to get back home to smell a bit of cash.
I think we've got 2 different views on that. Have you made any progress, or have you tried to make any progress with the
way, the solids to be taken on farm?
The solids currently are taken.
They are.
Yes. The liquid we have issue with, EPA want a very specific licence for the relocation of liquid, which strikes me as a little bit unusual because it's fine to graze a couple of thousand head of cattle on a paddock, but it's not, and have them naturally fertilise.
We've seen this with feedlot
The
applications.
pasture, but it's verboten to take waste from a truck wash and do the same thing without very rigid licensing, and to the point of it has to be a specific paddock, specific times of day, specific volumes, and that doesn't make it easy to administer from our end.
No.
Alex, the Woons Road, Bundara Road intersection, there's a section of it there that when I went past last hadn't been sealed.
It will be sealed.
Okay.
So we've got the 4 causeways that I mentioned. They have about 100 metres to 200 metres of approaches that have got to be reconstructed each side.
Yeah.
We didn't want to do the intersection while there was still construction traffic.
Okay.
So that little bit of sealing will be incorporated with the seals of the approaches to the causeways.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
to Alex, looking forward instead of back, 2025 roads program. How are we going there? That ready?
It's in draft at present. In the operational plan, we have our major capital works items listed, and we just have unsealed road resheeting and sealed road heavy patching as line items. At the moment, we've got more data than we have ever had, from community surveys to the RACA survey stuff, which I've demonstrated to council before, that has the condition data and the photos of the entire shire. Combined with all our flood damage assessments, we've got a sea of data. I would hope that at the next council meeting, have a resheeting program and a heavy patching program that I can present.
Very good.
Going to wade through all the information.
Alex, you fortunately we were sitting together this morning when I took a call about a problem with the Blue Nobby Road. Have you heard any more back from that?
Yes, we've had a grader operator who is now in his 4th week sick leave. He's been very ill, and the area of concern that the ratepayer had was an unfinished area.
Oh, right.
We did have a general plan operator in a grader giving him a trial. As you know, graders are easy things to drive, very, very difficult things to operate. So he's had a trial, and it has been less than successful.
Right.
But I'll make contact with that ratepayer later today.
That'd be good.
Let him know what's happening. Happy to take any other questions.
Well, I'd just like to reiterate the good feedback we're getting from where these roadworks are going, especially the bitumen, where it's never been sealed before. I think that you'd have a sore back from the compliments you're getting, the slaps on the back from our northern community. And they've said to me that they didn't think this would ever happen, and I said neither did I. But we've just been so fortunate with grant funding, and you've made the dollar go as far as it could. I mean, the right amount of lime, Councillor Egan.
Well, I think we've done really well, seeing as there was a shortage and we managed to get it out there and get the roads.
That's right.
I'm very happy.
Very good.
And the polymer. I suppose you've used all I gave you.
Yes.
I'll go to a conference again.
The entire 500 millilitre bottle has been expended. It went on a council road, not my driveway. Declare that.
Any other questions or input?
The up important amenities is taking shape.
I don't know whether that's been connected or not yet. I'd have to take that on advice. I'll flick a question to our water and sewer.
We'll look at it when we're at the community meeting. Keith took me over to have a look. And that's all it needs is a connection.
That's all it needs. But the skate park, if only I could skate.
Well, there's lessons. There's lessons coming up in Warrior. As long as you're under 24, you'll be right.
I actually think we're very lucky with the skate park. I know people wanted it years ago, but there's been so much, this comment was made yesterday that, maybe it was needed years ago, but we've now got a state of the art that is a lot better than they built years ago.
It's fantastic, and it's zero cost to council.
Yeah.
It's something really great for being.
Yeah.
Really is.
Has it been used?
Yeah.
It's the time. Come on, I'll show you how to do it.
I took Nick over last weekend and we had to borrow someone else's push bike.
I hope that was on video.
There was very little push bike.
I was going to say, I'd hate to see the push bike after it came down with Nick on top of it.
Well, you couldn't see the push bike when he was on it. Listen,
I
Alex.
think it sends a letter of thanks to Nick for putting out for that, because that's just a comment.
He said there's
within-
supposed to be oranges there, like.
Yes, he told me that we were supposed to have orange, but I was unaware of that. So
Yeah, well, I just thought the orange paint was what had.
yeah, I thought that was covered, but apparently not.
Yeah, I took him over on the weekend and we had a look.
And maybe some orange trees planted.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea.
Trees, and the kids can
Yeah.
eat those at their leisure when they're ripe.
It's a great facility, there's no doubt about that. Alex, I have got one little point. Badaham's Lookout. You may have done this, but I had a phone call probably 12 months ago from Alice Delamin. He was involved with Apex when they built that lookout.
Right.
And their sign had been taken away.
Okay.
Can you just make sure Apex is recognised again?
I will make sure.
Thank you.
Beauty of an internal sign writer is.
Yes, yeah. Anything else from Alex? You finished up?
Have you been up to the Lookout? Looks really good up there as well.
I haven't been up there.
Right.
Good.
I think the guardrail's been a
and
nice addition too. Makes it a bit safer.
And
Feel
the
a bit
picnic
safer.
area, yeah, and the picnic area,
I'll
and,
take
and there's
Kerry up there one night and see how.
There's plenty of lights up there.
Oh, I don't want lights.
You better go back to Lovers Lane.
Yeah. Yeah, all right. Is there anything else?
Mr. Mayor,
Yeah,
what's happening with the bike usage thing on the western end of the dog park over here?
It's the kids bike road safety area. Official opening of that will take place in school holidays.
Right. So you must have a bit of signage in that to put up.
Yeah, so the intention is to have full road signage so the kids can stop at the stop sign, give way at the give way sign, know which way to go around the roundabout and so on.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Anything else? Anybody? Thank you, Alex. I asked now for the officer recommendation. Thank you, Councillor Carlton, seconded Councillor Egan. I'll put that motion those in favour say aye. Aye. Okay. Item 7.2, executive services. Over to you.
Yeah, happy to answer any questions if I can.
Well, I'm just wondering what's happening up at Horton Feedlot.
yeah, I've got that across
Oh, yeah?
too.
Yeah.
Asking the same thing. It's on page 17.
I'm not sure what do you mean.
There was going to be a point where the councillors would go and check the site.
Yeah, we're assuming. Well, I assumed when you resolved that you wanted to see it, just as it was going to come to council, so that it was at the same time.
That's correct. Yeah.
You do an inspection. Well, it's not ready to come back to the council.
No. It probably won't be this council that does that.
No.
Any questions of Max?
Where are we up to with what's on Bogue and subdivision up here?
The subdivision's been lodged in the portal, and although we had an email from Mark Bogan saying he consented to the lodgement of the DA, it needs to be signed by his partner as well. So it's gone back out there, but it's in the process of being assessed. There's one resident, an adjoining resident, who's expressed some concern, but I'll point out to her, all we're doing is subdividing a lot into two lots. It's not, she's concern relates to the future use of that lot, and she'll have plenty of opportunity in the future to
down the track, won't it?
Yeah.
The telecommunications tower at Upper Horton. Is it not? Nothing happened there yet. I didn't check my phone signal. Page 23, second from the top.
Would you like me to get Patsy?
Yeah, well, maybe it would be.
Patsy.
Well, yeah, what's the one in front? It says there was another communication facility on lot 2. Whereabouts is that? Quite high.
What page you on?
The next one back, just on page 22.
Oh, I see.
Where's that tower at?
I know, it must be a good one, though. 243,000.
Compared to 88. That's not Bill Collins, is it?
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
Oh, that's
Remember, we had that in the minutes a few months ago, and it was Bill Colton.
What, a private one?
Well,
243,000.
yep, it was because I questioned it back then.
Yeah,
and we didn't,
ask Patsy because I wouldn't have thought that.
yeah, I questioned it back then. I'm sure that's where it was when we questioned it.
Right, yeah. Hey, welcome, Patsy.
Hi.
I've got 2 questions for you.
I'll try and have 2 answers.
Well, you'll be right. The telecommunications facility on the Gwyder Highway, what is that, 243,000?
That Bill Colton.
It's not on the Gwyder Highway, it's not.
It's on the other side of, I know the one I'm talking about. It's on, what's that little mountain called? On the western side of Gravesend.
Gravesend Mountain, I think it's called. No, it is, really. There's already communications there.
Yeah, that's what I know it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it's going.
Oh, right.
On top of that mount, on the western side of Gravesend.
It's on Quinn's property.
On the northern side of
Who's doing that? Telstra?
sorry, southern side of the highway.
Is that Telstra?
No,
No,
I think it's an independent one.
On the northern side of the highway, not the southern side.
I think it's on the southern side.
No, you're on the southern side.
Got to be
Was it?
northern side of the island.
There was a couple of meetings ago in the minutes. There was one, and it was Bill Colton.
This is the highway. He doesn't live on the highway.
Oh well, I'm just saying there was, and it was that amount of money.
I don't know.
The block. I'm pretty sure it's on the southern side of the highway. This one's going. I didn't get the file. I'll just go and grab it. That's just a real damn cheap question. Better.
Okay, and then the other one was the one at Horton, the other communications tower.
Yeah, that's going in the township.
Bells Creek.
Just east of the.
Well, you've got Bell's Corner.
And that's the 88.
Part of the grant work.
It's only a small one, though.
Is that part of the grants work with Maureen? When you said it's an independent telco?
It could be, yes. I think that it's all part of that communication in small communities grant.
This is you're talking about the second one.
Yeah,
yeah. So I'll go and grab that file if you've got a second, and I'll tell you exactly where it is.
Alex has just found the map, Patsy, if that's helpful. So be running together. It's a memory.
Yeah, I didn't know it would. That must be on that little hill.
So it is Bill Colton.
It's in here, gravel pit.
Well, I remember it being in another meeting and we discussed it.
He wouldn't be doing it. Somebody else, wouldn't it?
Yeah, somebody else is doing it.
Yeah.
And leasing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's where it is, right there. Yeah, I saw it in the south of that.
So is that Telstra's, you say? Or?
I think it's someone independent to that.
No.
It's, or they're doing it on behalf of Telstra.
Yeah.
They don't actually tell us.
Pretty, a lot of money, isn't it?
Yeah, they go through so many subsidiary companies. Yeah, so they don't actually tell Telstra one of them.
Right. Yeah. Well, thank you.
That's all right.
Yeah.
No problem. Anything else while I'm here?
Bill bought that.
No?
I can't think who had it.
Good, thanks,
Had
mate.
quite a few owners.
I was reading, Max. We're very lucky with the library, aren't we? You read the things that happen there. And recently, the young girl that was there on work experience in the film. That was like, we are very lucky.
You know what? I'd say it's only as good as the librarian. Isn't it?
Oh, exactly.
Yeah. So when she retires, it might be hard to replace.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Very
with you.
hard to replace.
I totally agree with you.
Although when Kimberly Apthorpe, when she was away, I thought she was very good.
Yes.
So she,
She was very good.
yeah. No, these tips are all right now. Big Rubber Creek West, it's been on.
Yeah, understood.
Where did you?
It's
Where
very
did you?
hard.
You went and looked at the Cooltham one, didn't you, or was it Upper Horton?
It was Upper Horton, but I looked at Coolithon as well.
Yeah.
Coolithon shit overrun. It was
They said it was terrible.
pretty ordinary. In fact, we had a meeting with Crown Lands the other day because we're trying to resolve all the land issues around the tips, and Cooler Time was one of the ones that we're trying to resolve, and it goes right back to the old Yallaroy Council days, but like they almost kept handwritten minutes. Ordinary. The records have
What about Blair? You'd be more familiar than me, but Gravesend tip of the opinion is going to run out of room soon. Surely we've got to purchase more land there.
Well, what we're trying to do is negotiate more Crown land around all these tips.
Is there Crown land? The tip was extended and it was bought from Robert Barwick, I think.
Well, I think we think there's some more land there.
There might be Crown land towards the road, the highway.
LLS.
Yeah, it would be stock route. Yeah.
But I think we're living on borrowed time with all our tips.
I know they're going to be closed, aren't they?
Especially when we have fires. Yeah, people start fires. Eventually, the EPA will just say, "Well, that's it. You either man them or you close them."
So when that happens, I'm coming to a public meeting complaining.
It was very pleasing to see when you look at the stats for Cranky Rock, how many people actually go and stay there. Like those stats are pretty.
It was one of those things that when we were amalgamated, Yallaroy had a plan of management for Cranky Rock, but had never done any work to make it happen.
No.
And I mean, it's been the beneficiary of the amalgamation, because even though in their management plan it was to seal the road, and I know some people were a little bit against sealing the road, but that really opened it up to caravans and has increased its usage. There's so much more we could do because it is a very attractive place.
Couple of other things in this report. The rent for the locum on the and the Warriata practice on the new cottages, $700 a week.
Yeah.
A hell of a lot of money.
For
when we're enticing doctors, and I know but that's coming out of the practice, isn't it? Not the actual.
Comes out of the practice. You got to remember, we get other dwellings at the moment, pretty much for free.
Yeah.
These were additional dwellings.
Because I know they haven't got internet, and because one of the locums or the medical students or whatever he was, he went and got Starlink. And this laundry, where are we up to with the laundry with them?
I don't know.
It's coming. Yep.
It's only a washing machine.
It's a cupboard that's external.
Yeah.
So a weatherproof cupboard.
At the moment, they've got nowhere to do their washing.
No, I'll get it.
Carmen, I spoke to Carmen about that last week, and she said they're on order and they're on their way.
My biggest concern is reading down with the Roxy performances, the losses. That's a very big loss.
Unsustainable.
Yeah, you can't.
Unsustainable.
You can't have losses.
But it's particularly when it's only servicing a little section of our ratepayers.
Exactly.
If it was right across the Shire, you probably.
I mean, I'm one all for the Roxy. I'm right behind it, but not at a loss like that.
No, that's ridiculous.
You can't. I mean, maybe, and this first one, that Paris After Dark, maybe you get them to bring they provided a meal and everything. So that meal and the staff and everything came into that. Maybe if something like that, you say bring your own picnic table, you know what I mean, platters to have it, because I think a lot of that loss would have gone into the extra, not just the tickets.
It's a loss over only 100 people.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah. And then the one down below, the next one, like it was $3,483. That's up where the top one was.
I think that a new council would look at that and wouldn't wear it.
Yeah.
Both those instances, we were trying to determine exactly how much the market would bear. I think what we've learned from that is that the Roxy events have now got to be focused on a community fundraising thing. That's the only way they'll ever make money.
Yeah.
Now, I know that you've got that FABS thing coming up.
Yeah.
But now the entertainment that night is going to cost $6,000. That's an awful lot of money you've got to charge people to come to make
We're
it.
charging $45 a head, and they bring their own and buy their own alcohol. And we're also charging $25 for gallery seating, and hoping to make money out of the bar.
Yeah.
They're bringing their own, aren't they?
They're bringing their own picnics, platters. So we're not charging them for a platter.
It's like a bar.
They buy their own alcohol. So the fee is for their tickets of $45 a head, 10 tables. I'm pretty sure it'll be booked right out, and the gallery, and also whatever leftover money is going to country education. But we're not providing a meal or anything for that $45. And the people that are wanting the tickets, like, I think they probably would have paid $50 a head.
Yeah. On the positive side, we've always tried to have events not only in the Rocks but also at the
Warrior Town Hall, yeah.
And I'm going to say they've been very well supported. The last one was country music. Yeah. Actually, that was run by in a way by the entertainers, and we just got a cut in terms of ticket price, the number of tickets they sold. But the kids' events that were at the Warrialda Memorial Hall were very popular, and we've run up there. So I think there's a market for it, but it's very sensitive to price.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. I think, and as I said, I'm all for all the entertainments and everything, but we can't wear losses like that. If it was small loss, maybe, because you're putting something out there. There's also grants out there, which I think with the entertainment for FABA, Carmen said that there was some of that will be covered by a grant.
Yeah, she got $114,000 grant, I think, for events.
Yeah.
And you've got to remember too, there's other loss-making, like you can focus in on the Roxy, but there were other loss-making events to do with activities down by the river and, the long lunches and all that sort of stuff that we support are loss-making ventures. But normally there are more people involved in terms of the residents. And that's, I think,
you just got to strike a good balance, haven't you?
Yeah. I mean, it's very hard. You put these things on. If you don't have anything, you get complaints. We do have a lot. We give a lot, and I'm all for that. And I know I'm not just picking on the Roxy, Max. I'm just stating that.
Well, it's in the report.
It's in the report.
Yeah, well, it's in the report because we wanted to let people know.
Yeah.
When you try these things and they don't work, that's a learning experience. Anyway.
Yeah. I must say, being at two events recently at the Warrialda Memorial Hall in June, the investment the council made for the air conditioning in that building has made it come to life again.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't being used at all.
No, and it's very good and it heats up very quickly. We had Danny Perrett's fundraising paint and sip night there, and everybody was comfortable, and there was nearly 70 people that came along to that, and that investment was well worth it.
Yeah.
And seeing the old building east again.
Yeah, okay. All right, we can see on the councillor's activity schedule that the community meetings made us all pretty busy. Is there any questions for Max? Further questions?
Just one question here, Max. Sorry, Tiffany was on a roll there. I'll let her keep going. At Warrialda Rail, the toilet looks very lonely sitting in that picture.
It looks like
you can go with that.
You can have the ball.
They're big enough.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems very big with the toilet just stuck in the corner.
Yeah, it does.
Well, it's the typical outhouse.
Yeah. I just wondered, was there a shower or something going in there?
No, but it's been a long time coming.
It sure has.
Masha's actually.
You don't.
Needed for a long time.
You don't need a shower there.
No, you don't.
Mm.
One fella whinged and carried on to me about it, and I was too small. So I said, who do you want to take in there with you, mate?
How do you remember their name? I think I can know who that'd be. So the
Spot on.
opposite recommendation is that the report be received. Can someone move that by Councillor Dixon and second Councillor Matthews? I'll put that motion. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Okay. There's the May calendar. Oh, and the river attachment there on the river works.
When will that start?
Soon.
On the
Have to wait for all the stuff to be taken away.
yeah. On the plan it says potential location for floating pontoon. The pontoon is going back, isn't
Yes, it
it?
is. We're still negotiating to make sure that the current mayor doesn't have the last laugh.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm not going to say any more. I said my bit at the time. Yeah. Okay. 7.3, May investment rate selection report. Thanks, Helen.
I can take any questions that you have. It's the standard monthly report. We're still sitting quite pretty at the moment.
It's a hell of a lot of cash.
Yes.
That is actually cash at the bank, is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of it's restricted.
I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all
but we
gone.
do have- yeah.
Can we just make a note for the minutes that the mayor said that's a hell of a lot of cash?
It's on recording.
I would point out, I think the target we had was unrestricted cash of 1.2 million for the end of this term.
It's $300,000.
It's actually at the end of last.
It was the last one. It's 3 years out later.
Just one.
Yeah.
Okay, better late than never.
I'm happy.
All right, well, we'll take all that on board so long as you secure the pontoon. I'll be happy.
Never.
It's probably worth noting this is the first year in, I don't know, we're up to 4 or 5 years of our financial assistance grant money partially being paid early. We're not getting that this year. So that cash position is without any. Last year we had 90% almost of our financial assistance.
Yeah.
When do we expect it?
We've got no correspondence whatsoever about.
You would expect it on the 1st of July, wouldn't you?
It should come through very early in July. It's not usually the 1st because they wait a few weeks.
Well, the first Sunday.
Yeah, I've been on the OLG. I've searched everywhere and I can't find anything to do with the financial assistance money's coming through.
Yeah, and you're always warned that this would happen and it would hit us pretty hard.
And I think that's a kudos to council for the diligence we've had in our finances to show that we've been able to survive that after.
Yeah, well, I think
5 years of that coming through early.
I think it's your kudos, not ours.
No, I only advise.
You're definitely going to get it, though, aren't they?
Yeah,
it's definite money. It's just that it's always been paid early. But
And if you're interested, the money for the new building is included in internal restrictions.
5 million.
Well, yeah, or 6. 8.
Only five of that is for the $5 million of that is the loan.
Yeah, I thought that's what you were saying to. You're
And then there's other.
you're talking about the Harlem out, are you? Okay.
Last figure.
And we are likely to be signing contract quite soon. They're still finalising all the associated consultant paperwork and all that sort of stuff. The builders like to have in place.
The DA is not complete, is it?
No, it's not, but it's reached a point where we're fairly confident.
Yeah.
It's going to go to the next round. And
when will that be?
I haven't got a date, but it's in July.
Is it?
And we've rearranged the car parking requirement to meet their needs and the other thing might. So it's just a case that we think of rubber stamping.
And Colin mentioned the contract is still ready to go in August.
Yeah. The other good thing we say $300,000 because we found that we could actually take the soil off site from the current thing because there was some suggestion it was contaminated with nickel, but it's non-leaching nickel so that we can put it.
Where did that come from?
Well, I don't know. I think it's just naturally occurring in the soil.
Yeah.
But once you disturb it, and you do tests on it.
Have a nickel mine.
Underneath the buildings.
And back in the day.
Oh, what might be?
But Australia never had nickels. It's America.
Money.
Sorry, Max.
I was going to say we might be able to get some money out of the Made in Australia fund to
Yeah.
get the nickel.
The
out
nickel,
of it.
yeah.
Because isn't it a rare earth?
I think so. It's in batteries. Isn't it? Okay, and rates collection's on track as usual.
Yes, sir.
Is there any other questions of Helen? Later to go off.
I will put a report for the next council meeting before, for the last one on the sale of unpaid rates. We've just got to get the final version of that report to
Do you want to
bring.
touch on that now, or would you rather leave it to the
No, I
conference?
think that there's a few unresolved issues with it, so I think I'd rather wait until they're all resolved before I
Okay.
give you any figures or anything.
So the office recommendations that the May monthly investment rates collection report be received. Would someone like to move that way? Councillor Egan and Councillor Smith. I'll put the motion. Those in favour say aye. Motion now carried. 7.4 Organisation Community Services report. Thanks. Yeah.
Just a standard report. I'm conscious that we took up quite a bit of time talking about children's services this morning. So happy to answer any questions that you may have on the report.
You think that there's some hope there with that? Oh, you know, that's the basic we've ever been, isn't it?
I think it'd be great.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
I think the only way forward that I can see is if they take on the management of existing facilities,
I do too.
which is a positive from a council perspective as well.
They've got that start-up already with the kids.
And the building and
Yeah.
the purpose-built building, and it's a win-win for council if we were to have to
I
provide.
I don't know what capacity of Warrior One is, for instance, because I know that at one stage they couldn't take any more kids years ago. Just don't know how that works.
Now they're struggling with numbers.
But can they take 30 there legally?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Can they take young ones?
No, they can't.
That's the thing.
No.
We'd have to.
A different service, right?
Under numbers or over numbers?
Under numbers.
They're looking into it, but I could be wrong. It would be a win-win situation. Like you wouldn't want them to start up another whole new building because you compete. That's sort of doing the same thing. Whereas just say down in Bingara, for instance, if they took over our preschool, well, that's got to be good for council as well as the community, because you're also helping the community out with the younger ones, and it will be helping the council out with. Yeah.
Well, I liked when they described council as being landlords.
Yeah.
You know, we would have given them the building if they had of us. So that was a positive to start with.
Yeah,
so whether we generate income from our facilities or not, it's neither here nor there, but we remove all the risk and all the staffing issues and all that compliance stuff that is so time consuming. You can't measure the savings for council in that front. We deliver the service because no one else will. Now we've got someone knocking on our door to say, we'll deliver what you deliver and more.
Yeah.
Which is what the community wants.
I think the other thing is, talking about $20 a day, that's means tested.
Yeah.
And it might be more. It could be, I think you can get, well, they seem to think you get 50%, so it could be $60 a day. But I think it'd still be popular.
It's the same model that we have to charge our preschools for anyway. So it's a long daycare stuff that will be different to what we offer, but it's government regulated, so they're not going to be any different to what we charge our preschools.
And I think we should be advertising something, because you could go to the toy library, where a lot of them go to now, with all those young ones. If they don't know about it.
Yeah, exactly.
But we really need something that's long hours, 5 days a week.
Exactly.
And the other things that fill in, they're good, but if you want to work full time, you've got to have 5 days a week.
Yeah. And I think we've got to, as I said to Max earlier, I think we do have to put it out there, because yes, okay, they need all the stats and everything like that, but if you're putting it out there, people are knowing that we're trying, and they know that it looks like it could be coming, and they can plan.
It'll give the opportunity of people going to work that aren't working now.
Yeah.
So they're not even represented yet.
No.
Yeah. I think if we could put something out there and.
Well, I think if you put it out there, you also got to put out some of the background of them.
Yeah.
That they had there on the screen this morning, what services they do offer. There's no use just sending out a questionnaire, do you, one?
No, I don't mean a questionnaire. I mean, this is what could be coming.
Yeah.
Are you interested?
You've got to put it out the community somehow.
Yeah, you
I'll
do.
just talk to you.
I don't care if they say, oh, 30's come and only 10 turn up. Doesn't matter. You've let them know.
Yeah, from that one little start.
Yeah.
So it was accepted. I don't lead on the soil anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
Here, I thought make it work.
The other thing that gave me a bit of hope was when they got one at Walker and it's working.
Yeah.
Similar size community.
Yeah.
But it's only 40 k's, isn't it, from Rail to Walker, and they've got a couple of thousand population, so they
I think she said those people came from Armadale.
yeah, so it's not far to Walker.
No,
And,
I
and
agree.
it's something that we would have to investigate, push out to communities.
But you've got to add to the population of both Bingham and Morell of the villages.
Yeah.
People there too. Or the district, I should say. Any questions on this report? You got any more to add, Lee? I'm sorry.
No,
No.
no. Happy to answer any questions from the council.
I think it's all good.
No worries.
Yeah.
Occupancy is,
We could tell them about our visit, yeah. From Walden.
we'll do that now.
You've got another report, haven't you?
We had a visit from Walker Council Management, who they are taking back, I think. Oh, no, they've never had it.
And give
So
it to them.
it's the aged care facility at Walker, which was a 30-bed, formerly a hostel, now aged care facility like Nauru, has been given to the council. The council have decided to pick up the baton and continue delivering the aged services in Walker. So we had a long conversation with them about how we do it and historically what's happened. And it was very positive and useful conversation for both parties, I think. And
Did Eric come over for that? Or?
No.
No, there was only one elected person, but she was there by phone.
Oh, okay. Because I said to Eric, same as anything, it's only as good as the manager.
Oh, and we also explained to them they're coming into aged care at the best time to be taking over because of the Royal Commission changed the way that aged care is funded. And as you saw in the end result for Nauru this year, it's easier to make a profit or at least be sustainable.
Yeah, best sustainable. Any questions on the report?
I just want to put it out there while we're on speaker. I don't want to be in a nursing home, have my feet in the dish and have a photo taken.
I think they put piranha in.
I don't want to.
Fish in there.
Oh, that was you.
Look at it wrong. That's something else.
Comment of the day, that one.
I actually think that's lovely.
As long as the water's warm. Well, you can have my spot, Tiff, because I'm not going in.
I'm more concerned about the distortion of the photos. They've made them wider.
You should think of that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'd be thinking of that. I wouldn't want to be any wider. Yeah, so Nauru is, that's full occupancy.
Yeah, that's good. Fantastic turnaround. That.
Yeah, that's well.
Any other
done.
questions on Leah? If not, I'd ask that somebody move that the report be received. Can't get us started. Councillor Mulligan, seconded. Councillor Moore. I'll put that motion. Those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Oh, here we go. This is it. Now. That's the living card. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. So we've got our business plan in the living classroom. I've gone. You go.
But I thank Max for getting this on the table.
Yeah, I should have done it.
And putting it out there, because what it means is when we're going through new council, they've got some of the staff, something to view and look at, and not just swim against the tide all the time.
Yeah.
You've got to.
It's a
So
good
thank you, Max. Yeah.
You're going to have to sell it reasonably well.
This stage it needs a lot of marketing.
Yeah. It's not pretty well to a new council, I think, with the losses.
The figures aren't good, but
Have you got a new coordinator yet?
We made an appointment, but unfortunately the person pulled out.
Oh.
So, no, we haven't got one at the moment.
Have you got a backup?
I don't think any of the other applicants were suitable for that role. But we are negotiating with someone already existing on the staff that might be interested in doing it.
I've got a comment regarding the interpretive centre, and I've just got written down, including economic sustainability in agriculture, and a sensible approach, and consult the real world.
Yeah.
In other words, we don't want a dingy pole in the corner of the paddock to keep the kangaroos out. That type of approach won't wash it all. But anyway, there's always. I've been hearing talk about monocultures. You can't have monocultures in your cropping and in grazing. I mean, situation. Well, I can test that too. We've got a beautiful paddock of Lewiston that's run a lot of sheep per hectare. So I just think we've got to be careful what you put in that interpretive centre. Let it be grounded.
Yeah, I do actually agree strongly with that.
But I don't anticipate running that as a 7-day week.
Cafe.
Yeah, calling it a cafe.
Well, that's what the grant funding was for.
Yes.
But one of the options I'm toying with is a Friday night wine bar.
Wine bar.
Just a wine bar where
we went to one of them.
Yeah.
We went to the airport.
You said that.
I think you highlighted that some of the problems is that it's a bit remote from the town. And if you've got a wine bar, you've got to walk home.
Once people go there, like I've been to lots of functions up there and I've catered at functions up there, and the positivity that comes out of things that, I remember my father-in-law saying to me when I suggested it for Nan Galvin's 100th birthday, he was so negative and he said, I'm not going, he'd never been there. And he said, I'm not going up there, that's this and this and that. And he came back to me and he said, Tip, I'm really sorry I have to eat my words. He said, that's where we're going to have it. It is amazing. And now he sends everybody there.
Look, I don't think you get an argument from anybody. It's a very, very well done. But if you've got to make cuts in the future when the budget gets a bit tight, the Newcastle will look at this.
That's right.
The best you've got so far is $40,000 loss. So.
Where are we up to with the power for the units?
Yeah. Well, we've still got Curry Power have given us August as the date that they're going to be able to do that work. Gone are the days where the power companies actually fell over themselves to put power on. It's unbelievable the lack of service.
The pool, the lighting over there, is that all?
Yeah, well, that's only just
project.
No, that was done with the caravan park.
But the same, the wait there was interminable. Yeah.
It was 18 months, wasn't it? Yeah.
So if you were building a house, you could go with that.
But we're going to have I think we're lucky with the new building. There's a power issue there too, even though the building is replacing a building.
Like the supplier,
Yeah. I think, wasn't it? Cole said we had to have a revamped.
We need those.
Transformer.
That's been the transformer. Yeah.
So much.
Perhaps we need a nuclear reactor.
Put that on the living classroom. I wouldn't mind charging the lease payment back income.
You'd call it the dying classroom then.
What?
No, it's a joke. Yeah. Anyway, the recommendation is that this be.
Oh, I'm looking forward to the comments that come back from the community.
Yeah, it'll be placed on public display for 28 days. Somebody like to move that recommendation? Councillor Dixon. Councillor Galvin, seconded that. I'll put the motion those in favour say aye. Aye. Okay, and thank you, Max, for the effort today. The pool signage, I don't know what you think of that. There was a few of us met recently, David, you were there. Yep. And I think the comments were all there, but the proposed one was a bit dark. I think this is a lot nicer. Particularly the one on the right with the butterfly. It's cool.
I think that was very good.
Yeah. When you drive past, you can tell it's a swimming pool there. I'm still hanging out for a temperature reader for my it tells the water temperature as you go past. See whether you call in or not. Yeah. So that the recommendation of the proposed beautification of the Royal Spring Appeal consisting of the installation of composite panels displaying the images below is included. In saying that, there's panels going over those Besser bricks, so it'll cover up all those cracks. And those things, I think, what was it, 7 years? They take them off and replace them.
They redo them, yeah.
Yeah. So they're like a computer image.
David was at the meeting.
Yeah.
And they can mainly all be done in-house.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So it must be in, like, are they metre squares or something they stick on?
They got full. Right. Memorial, the War Memorial Olympic, all that sign actually been a bit backlit or something.
Yeah, it's going to be out of boxed acrylic letters that can be
lighting behind it.
Oh, okay.
Make it stand out. So it's good.
They go for the lighter colour.
The bottom one.
Bottom one, Jeff.
Mine's both in same.
No, keep going. Next page. That one.
That one, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Dave said you've got 8 seconds to look at it as you drive past. I've only got 4.
That's why you want some of our staff have listened.
Yeah.
Drive it proper.
It's all on the phone, right? Yeah. Anyway, there's that recommendation. It's all over. Thank you, Councillor Carlton. Seconded, please. Yeah. Councillor Mulligan, put the motion over to say aye. Council, integrated planning reporting documentation. Do you want to go through all this again? No, not. We have been over a couple of times. There's the recommendation. We're happy to read that recommendation. Councillor Mulligan, thank you. Councillor Galvin, seconded it. Is there any questions or anyone want to make comment? It's quite an extensive recommendation. I'm not going to read it out. I'll put it to the meeting, to the vote. I mean, those in favour say aye. Aye. Okay, thank you. Monthly action progress report. Oh, well, this is for a notation. There's no recommendation. Oh, the report we received. Someone like to move that? Thank you. And then Councillor Egan, seconded. Yeah, Councillor Smith, those in favour say aye. Aye. Okay. Put on there. Now we've got the line. We can do council report.
No, there's.
You've got 3 late items.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll do them first, yeah. Is gates and grids the first one? Yeah. Alex, you want to speak to this? Would you like to speak to it?
This, let's find the policy, Mr. Mayor.
Your mum?
There's very little change to this policy from the previous iteration. We did seek legal advice on the aspect of landowners being responsible for approaches to the grids, even though it does form part of council's form road. The policy is kosher, and we can ask the landholder to maintain a section of the road leading to the grid. The only change, 20 metres, not exceeding 20 metres. The only change was that we've removed the notification period, reduced the notification period on sealed roads for rectification works to 7 days. So if you're on a road like the Elcombe Road, you have a grid that's a serious problem, you haven't fixed it within 7 days, this policy says that we'll pull your grid out at your cost.
Yeah. How was that, Alex, affect the road, the grids down the Muscogee Creek Road, and they're not at the end of anybody's boundary or anything, it's on an unfenced road.
So under this policy, they'd still be permissible.
The landholder still will look after it? No, it's on people.
No, if it's on travelling stock route, LLS are responsible for them.
Oh.
And LLS are actually very enthusiastic to remove grids right across the Shire. I've met with Scott Graham twice, and we've gone through every grid that the LLS owns in Guida, and anything that he is able to remove, he is seeking authorisation to remove. They see them as the same liability that we do.
So will they fence those allotment?
Yeah, I think that's the intention.
Well, that'd be ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking for that for a long time.
Yeah, it must be. Alex and I talked about this prior to coming to the meeting.
But I know where they get the water from.
There's obviously a sentiment to do away with ramps, but my take on it is that we're a rural shire and people should expect to see stock. And I think the other thing is, once you start fencing roads or fencing kangaroos in, once they get in and then you come along, they can't get out. There's some downside to it, but I really think, on the road you travel every day, there's a lot of stock, isn't there? But those people rely on that. I wouldn't be the one that stopped it.
I think that all the same, Mr. Mayor, a long-term move to encourage people to fence over time.
I think you will do that, right? Yeah. Yeah, I think in a perfect world we wouldn't have grids, but very expensive for a landowner to fence. The last time I put a fence up, $3 a metre. That's for material only.
Yep.
Right. So the recommendation here is, you've got it, my thing. How we go policy be adopted? Is it? You want to move that way?
Okay.
That's Regan, second. That's Matthews. Put the motion in the phone, so
Aye.
okay. That's raising stock on roads policy. Next thing.
There is no change to this policy from the previous iteration. We are limiting the period that we're granting to 1 month. Stock can't be raised after dark, and the person has to be in attendance at all times. I think.
Look, I noticed that, and I was wondering, when it was drought declared, there was a lot of single wire electric fences went up. Is that not permitted?
We haven't explicitly stated one way or the other. I think we've just, the policy says stock proof.
Yeah. So I was just looking at it where they've got to be in attendance at all time. If you had that up, surely not.
The policy doesn't explicitly state that, so
okay, you're being very shady with this.
Actually, interesting, under the travelling stock route legislation, you're not allowed to camp overnight. It's an anomaly.
Yeah, I reckon.
Yes, they do.
I think that this policy sets out the maximum restriction council would impose.
Right, okay. Anyway, like you said, it hasn't changed, so office recommendation. The blessings of question. You're moving it. Thank you, Councillor Golden. Seconded. Councillor Dixon. Those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Dust seal policy.
There have been some changes in this policy. The previous policy said that council will wear 50% of the dust seal and the landholder will wear the other 50%. I don't think where we're doing roadworks or the improvement of amenity of a single property, it's appropriate that we are paying half the cost, particularly when, and we've seen some instances of this recently, people are buying houses on gravel roads and then complaining about dust. I don't say that to dismiss the legitimacy of the lack of amenity from trucks going past close to your house, but I don't think council should be wearing the responsibility of improving that. The other change was that we will only maintain a seal for 15 years. That's the universal industry expected useful life for a bitumen seal. So we don't want to be maintaining things in perpetuity if people are paying for something that only lasts 15 years. And point number 7 is probably the most pertinent. Where the dust seal has failed and impacted residents do not wish to contribute to the renewal of the seal may be removed from the road and the gravel road reinstated.
So where are we sitting now for the existing ones that have been put in by council?
It's not retrospective. It's not retrospective. No policies we do.
Any
No,
dust seals that
when
are
it
in
fails,
place.
it's their problem.
No, any dust seals that are in place at the moment are a council asset.
Okay.
They're in our hierarchy as, in our asset register, I should say, as sealed roads. So
So they continue to be maintained.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Okay, is there any questions? Member of the recommendation then? Councillor Matthew, seconded, yes. Help me. Mulligan. Two M's. Put the motion, those in favour say aye. Aye. Carried. And 7.4, the tender for the Cock Creek Road. Did you want to do this in confidential? Yeah, I think so. So down, we need somebody to move it going.
Oh, do you want to do council?
Oh, yeah, we can. We can do council reports in either now or in couples, whatever you like. Councillor Colton. Well, I think Councillor Smith.
No.
Okay, Councillor.
Oh, thanks.
Mulligan.
I better say something.
Yeah.
Well,
Now I've got your name.
I'd love to say a couple of comments. Going back to that North Star meeting, they were talking about the industry. There was a couple of bumps in the road. It's funny, I've gone over them for years and never really noticed them, but when I was going the last time, I actually did notice them. Hit the phone box there quite actually, yeah. You just used to going over them, not noticing, but obviously in the village, in North Star itself. I didn't think they were there, but they are there.
Okay, we'll inspect. That's probably a prime little patch to get our little heavy patching crew in for a first trial.
Well, I'm not sure what's underneath them, Alex. Whether there's actually there's no pipe work there, so I'm not sure why they're actually there.
Heaving black soil, perhaps, or is
I don't know, actually, Alex. I don't know. They're very close. It's like a double head camel, so it is. They sort of just go near the phone box.
Oh, sorry, these are the ones that they were talking about getting vehicles getting airborne.
Yeah, that's right. I did probably going too fast to be airborne.
They're probably speed bumps.
Yeah, well, I don't know, but they are there. I couldn't believe it, actually.
For the information of the room, after that community meeting, we put traffic counters out on the approach to the North Star, and our traffic counters will measure speed as well. Only about 15% of vehicles were speeding, and of those 15%, the bulk of them were in the 0 to 10 kilometres an hour over the limit. So sometimes the problems may seem very big, but we look at the data and that doesn't qualify under Transport for New South Wales traffic calming criteria.
Traffic calming, not supposed to get airborne.
I don't think they're anyway. They're there anyway. I couldn't believe it that. But I would just say also in David Street they were talking about that curbing.
That is an issue.
I didn't realise. Funny, I went to the polling booth and saw they're all covered in water. I didn't. The curbing's on the other side. It's all pushed up too. Which
so we think that's from heavy vehicles leaving the fuel stop, and as they turn around and screw on you're talking about on the eastern side of the road.
Yeah, but also on that western side actually.
That I advised that community meeting that the replacement of that section of curb was in next year's program, and it will be.
I just wonder, because why is the curbing only in that section to what's the next street, and then after that it's just there's only grass?
You'd have to ask the person sat in this chair 20 or 30 years.
Yeah, it's just a bit funny, isn't it? I don't.
Probably a bit longer than that because it's probably was there in the early Uluru days.
It's sometimes a situation of the money will only go so far, and if it only did half the street, it only did half the street.
Yeah, it's funny actually. It's funny up there.
Interest in roads then either?
You're multi-council.
Multi-generational.
Before I came in, right?
Is that it? Thanks, then. Thanks, no.
Chip, no.
Okay.
Surprise, I just mentioned the polling booth.
Yeah.
Advertising. I know it's in here, but the Bingra polling, I have people ring me up because it doesn't come under Bingra, it comes under Roxy, and they don't look for Roxy, they look for Bingra.
Yeah, I know, that was silly too, wasn't it?
It was, and I just wondered if we write to the election people and tell them it needs to be advertised as Bingra.
Yeah.
Because I did have phone calls about it.
Did you want to do? Did you want to pick up the $4,000 tab for the Upper Horton use of the wall?
Nothing like for people.
That's in here further, isn't it?
No, it's attached to the. It was going to be raised here in council reports.
Yeah. I'll talk about
raised it.
You wanted in reports, and I want to report.
That's another.
I've had phone calls about them.
Another form of cost shifting if we do.
Yeah.
But so the people of Upper Bingra, Upper Horton realised that their polling booth's going to shut if sufficient numbers don't vote there?
It's too late now.
It's too late, is it?
See, they're closed Pilotine, they've closed Cropper Creek.
That's right. That's right. That's what I was just going to say. Cropper Creek closed a few years ago. We tried to see if we could get it back open. They sort of said, no, you don't get 100 people there voting. Not. Yetman was sort of teetering. They're almost going to close Yetman as well. It was teetering too. It's still going, but I noticed that last time there was 98 people voted there.
I think Horton's heated for a few years too. We've tried to keep it open, but
Yeah, it's just that's their policy. I'm not sure you can change it.
No, that's right. Pumala, I think, had 21 people voting, but I don't think there's any move to close it.
No, that's pretty fair.
That's naughty.
That's it.
that's all I want to say.
I've got a little report, but I want to leave it till confidential if I can. So can I have somebody move that we go into confidential session? Got Councillor Egan and Councillor Moore. Put the motion, those in favour say aye.
Aye. Carried no, and the items to carry over are with regard to the Bingara Administration Building, the recommendation from the committee is that the Mayor and General Manager or their nominees are authorised to sign and seal the documentation related to the appointment of the preferred builder for the new Bingara Administration Building. In relation to the confidential organisation and community services report, the recommendation from the committee is that the report be received. In relation to the General Manager's report, recommendation from the committee is that the Council accepts the offer of $73,500 for Lot 19 in Moore Street, Bingara. Further, the General Manager is authorised to pursue... Sorry, no, that's wrong. It's further that the correspondence from the USU dated 13th June 2024 is noted and that the Council's draft response is endorsed. Further, the General Manager is authorised to finalise the purchase of the Bingara Sale Yard site from Crown Lands and that the land be categorised as operational land once purchased. In relation to tender GWY_2024_TO6 Cropper Creek Road pavement upgrade, the recommendation from the committee is that the Council decline to accept any tenders and undertake the required work using internal resources. Further, that the Council decline all GWY 2024 T7 tenders and that the General Manager is authorised to negotiate with the preferred tenderers. And they're all the recommendations from the committee. And those tenderers will be notified, obviously, you've got a process.
Yeah. All right, so I need somebody to move that we accept those. Councillor Matthews, Councillor Smith. I'll put the motion, those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Okay. There be no further business. Declare the meeting closed and thank you for your attendance and invite you to stay for lunch.